everybody out there in roller derby land. I'm Chief Intent, and I'm joining today into the second game. Pink Slaminade, you've been here since the start, haven't you? How's it been going today?
We had a really tight game for the 9 o'clock game. That's local time in Brisbane. We had the Violet Femmes and the Banshees, and the game stayed really close until the last 10 or 15 minutes, and the Femmes pulled away just enough to cinch that win. They had a two-jammer rotation that seemed to never lose their energy, and that was sort of the name of the game.
Right, so they were in lead in the front, and they did a lead shift, and then the other team got up and won on it.
No, it stayed close all game, and the Violet Femmes just pulled away when it really mattered.
Right.
So,
all right, well, that's cool. So coming up in this next game, we've got the Block Lobsters versus the Smashing Pumpkins. I don't know which one's red or which one's black at this stage, but I'm just going to read out the Block Lobsters and we'll get stuck in because it looks like these guys are trying to make up for that 15 minutes slipped time and trying to launch on into it. So 000 Rumpelstiltskin, 004 Princess Jam Slam, 04 Bad Reality, 1515 Danger Zone, 181 Lunatrix, number 2 Bloody Laces, 25 Sora Legs Off, 33 Loz, 55 Dol Manitor, 56 Purple Rain, 58 Silent Butcher, 703 Peppermint Crunch, and 911 Bow Fracture. On the bench, we've got Archie. Now that's I think that might be Team Red.
So Smashing Pumpkins has already secured lead. Cutthroat King is calling that jam already. And it looks like his ref is going to put some points on the board. The Smashing Pumpkins are number 14 Puss, number 188 Wolfman, number 32 Scare Bear, number 313 Kimbo, number 40 Bunny, number 401 Cutthroat King, that lead jammer of record, number 44 Squeals, the captain, number 463 Happy Cadaver, number 613 Axel Rolls, number 77 Bipolar Bear, and 88 Speed Angel, and on the bench Drop Blair and BST. So
nice.
for the Block Lobsters right now is Leggy.
Jam.
And 88 for the Smashing Pumpkins is Speed Angel, who just skated jammed an entire game for the Banshees. Oh, or is it 44 Squeals? My apologies.
Right. It looks like 44 Squeals. So it looks like the Smashing Pumpkins are in the black and Block Lobsters in the red. And the lead jammer coming out from Block Lobsters is surging through as 44 Squeals was edged out and stuck in the back of the pack at the moment, trying to make her way through. And jammer looks like 25 Sora Legs Off for Block Lobsters. And the jammer Squeals has made her way through now, and Sora Legs Off is just going to call that off and grab the point she's already got, which will probably even this up. I'm not too sure how many she got there. That is one blurry hand in the middle. I'm not too sure how many points she's holding up, but we'll get back to you in just a second. We've got scores on the sideline, so we can let you know what's going on.
So that was 2 points picked up by Red, the Block Lobsters in that last jam, and 2 points picked up by the Smashing Pumpkins in that first jam. So now we are tied. Legend has it we have the faster stream, but a little bit lower quality. And on Twitch, you are getting the high quality stream.
Right. So you'll be able to see how many fingers they're holding up, and we'll tell you earlier on how's it going. So we've got that lead jammer going through there for the Smashing Pumpkins, and Block Lobsters jammer's still stuck in that very stable pack. Hasn't moved even around that first corner, but the Smashing Pumpkins looking to try and barge the way through and put some points on the board. Really great sort of defense coming out of Smashing Pumpkins, holding off that Block Lobsters jammer and really keeping her at a standstill. Only now just starting to break through and swallowed again by those blockers. Great work there by Smashing Pumpkins.
Number 2, Laces standing in the penalty box, ready to rejoin that pack. Even with the disadvantage, some strong 3-person defense from the Block Lobsters in the back here.
Yeah, we're seeing a really good, strong defensive game. Neither one of those blocking teams got around the second corner there. So really strong defensive game starting off here, which is good news because a good defensive game usually means hard derby. So that's great to see.
As fun as it is for a jammer to whip through the pack, it's way more fun, I think, as a viewer to see some really tight defensive work.
Oh, yeah. Look, when you first start watching Derby, it's all eyes on the jammer until you realise they're just whizzing around and there's not much to see. And turning your eyes back onto the blocking team, you start to realise there's so much little micro movements that go on to actually swallow that jammer and block them and then rotate them out. There's a lot of good strategy and action that happens in that blocking pack, which is always fantastic to see once you know what you're looking for.
Speaking of action, the Block Lobsters jammer has now been seated in the penalty box. We've got a power jam for the Smashing Pumpkins. Can they capitalize? Looks like lead jammer is going to go to the Smashing Pumpkins.
That's right, because the Block Lobsters jammer getting that penalty cannot be lead jammer. You can't get a lead if you are going to get a penalty. The rules.
So Cutthroat King taking it on the outside of that second straightaway. Number
94. Oh, Princess Jam Slam?
I think it's Batty, but your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, maybe. There's only 1-0 difference between those two. That's right. That's going to be tricky. It's not like they're huge numbers or anything. That's okay. So the Block Lobsters jammer is now whizzing around the track, but it looks like it's been called off there by the Smashing Pumpkins, and they're going to be putting the only points on the board for this jam.
So
it is great to actually be watching live Derby again, though.
Oh, it's wild. I can't really wrap my head around it. Our score coming out of that jam is 9 for the Smashing Pumpkins and 4 for the Block Lobsters total.
Yeah, that was a big jam, a 7 points to 2 on that last jam, which is great news there for Smashing Pumpkins. And they're straight back into this for the next jam as the jammer for Smashing Pumpkins looks up there just to see if she's all good to keep going, and she is, but she's been re-swallowed by the pack. And Block Lobsters have come out with the lead jammer as that hand goes into the air to declare the rock. Oh, they had a bit of a shift in the feed and everything changed.
Oh, no. So at number 44, Squeals, making her way back into that pack. We've got pack advantage to the Block Lobsters.
Well, it is a standstill over there. And the longer those jammers try to push through those blockers, the more energy they use up. And so they come at it and they've got to use their brains to try and squeal around and see what they can do to try and find the gaps. But it must get bloody tiring. I mean, I'm not a skater, but trying to constantly go through a really strong wall like that's really got to take it out of you after a minute or so.
Definitely, both mentally and physically too. And every little kind of mistake or missed opportunity just really adds up when you have those long slogs of a pass.
Oh, absolutely. And you've got to try and summon that energy to try and shoot back in and make a gap. And when it doesn't work, you just got to feel defeated. So that's why massive respect to those jammers to just keep pounding at the back of the wall to try and make that gap and trying to get their way through there. And good on those blockers as well, who also assist in there to help make those gaps for those jammers, because it can get really bloody tiring.
Score going into this jam is 13 for the Smashing Pumpkins and 8 for the Block Lobsters.
It looks like Smashing Pumpkins dealing with the pivot there from Block Lobsters, just getting in their way and that making some room there for Block Lobsters jammer to fly on the way through there. Couldn't tell you what number it is. Well, I can tell you it's red.
I thought I saw 101, but I don't have a 101 on my roster. So let us know in the chat who is jamming for the Block Lobsters. Oh, and the jammer for the Smashing Pumpkins is heading to the box. That's Speed Angel.
Oh, this is really going to be wanting to capitalize there on Block Lobsters. They're now 5 down at the moment, but hopefully they can turn this around and take the lead again. There we got an inside edge, and that's another 5 points on the board. So she's got the jammer as well that she's gotten a point there for, so that might even it up. Yeah, like we were saying before, it's really great to see live derby again. It's been a long time since I've seen live derby, and it's really nice, especially up in sunny Queensland, enjoying that sort of the game back on and being able to sort of COVID safe, everybody getting in there and having a bit of a barge around. I'm sure everyone's missed it. They sure have down here in Melbourne, and VRDL have been missing it as well. So it's really nice to be able to sit and watch derby, no matter where it is. I'm sure we'll be watching it in Lithuania if that was where it was happening.
Absolutely. I'd be watching it in someone's backyard if I could. Just
Yeah,
lawn derby.
exactly.
Anything.
Little kids
I'm
down
so
the street with some
scarred.
skates on.
Yeah. This pack is a whack. Here we go. So it looks like perhaps 94 for the Block Lobsters. No, 84.
She's made her initial pass now, so there's some points coming in there for the Block Lobsters jammer. And it looks like we've had a star pass for the Smashing Pumpkins and not able to make their way. 32, that was Slasher Heart Scare Bear, just putting the jammer cover on before making her way to the bench. I think we've got a bit of a lead change going on because the Block Lobsters just had 2 scoring jams going on there. Not too sure if they got 5 in that jam, but they did in the one before. So we're probably looking at about a 13 to 17 scores. Just waiting for the numbers to be punched into.
13 to 22.
13 to 22. Here we are. So the Block Lobsters looking to capitalise on this little lead here and extend it out. But we've got a lead jammer going to the Smashing Pumpkins on this situation. So they're looking to even it up as we've still got a lot more of this really dense defensive pack holding it up. Pack still sitting around that first, second corner, not moving too much. As we see it to start to sort of roll
cutting
around.
Right through that pack.
It's the only way to go through a pack. Got to cut through there.
That's true. That's true. Can't really sidle through or like nudge through. We've got an official review called by Black, it looks like.
Oh, yeah. All right. So as it stands, we have Black at 17, Red at 22. So that's Red at the Block Lobsters at 22 and Smashing Pumpkins at 17. I'm not too sure what the official review is. Sorry, Pink, go for it.
No worries. I was just going to say, if you're missing Derby as much as we are and your league is looking at returning to play, the WFTDA has published new COVID-19 safety guidelines for leagues returning to play. So check them out at community.wftda.org. The guidelines are being updated frequently in response to changing conditions and regional guidelines. So yeah, I couldn't tell you what it was in that last jam that the Smashing Pumpkins took issue with. If anyone on the Twitch stream saw anything, let us know in the chat. Apparently you can get a Twitch membership free with an Amazon
special fancy Vision feed. Probably a good time to mention the COVID-19 Recovery Fund. Hang on. To help rebuild our community and our sport, the WFTDA have established the WFTDA COVID-19 Recovery Fund. This fund will provide micro grants to my screen keeps moving around to leagues and other roller derby associations to help support our community in their post-COVID-19 roller derby recovery. Find out how to apply and if you're eligible at community.wftda.org. So some great stuff to help the whole roller derby sport get back on its feet after the big gap that we've had. And I'm sure everyone out there is itching to help it get back on its feet. So get on in there and see what we can do to help make that happen.
That's the shortest official review I think I've ever seen. And if I didn't know any better, I would think they just use it as a timeout. But why would they do that? Why would they do that, Chief? It's madness.
Who knows? They've probably got plenty of timeouts up their sleeve as well. I've seen all kinds of official reviews into the color of people's sneakers and all kinds of business. So it's they had them all up their sleeves. So I'm not too sure why they're doing that at this stage.
Yeah, Luna jamming for the Smashing Pumpkins. Or is it
And
Luna for the
again, we've
block
got
lobs?
Block Lobsters just holding up the Smashing Pumpkins, not even around the second corner. And we've got a very similar situation happening as one of the blockers is coming out, slipping out to try and assist to help the Block Lobster Jammer break through that wall. But they are matching each other here, and it is a blockers game out there. And we finally got ourselves a lead jammer in the Smashing Pumpkins.
So
And number
Squeals
44,
is
I think
lead
that's
for the
Squeals.
Smashing Pumpkins, and Luna, who jammed on off the entire last game, which I should remind you ended about 8 minutes before this game started, is in red jamming again now for the Block Lobsters.
You just
Picking out
can't
that
get some
star.
of these skaters off the track.
After 18 months, I don't blame them. 19
No,
months?
that's right.
Again,
I've been sitting on
time
my
is a
ass
flat
for
circle.
18 months. I'm going to play all the games. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Put me out, coach.
That's right.
Nice
I still
little
got some
two
energy
formation
left,
in the front
man.
here from the Block Lobsters.
And there's some more points there for Smashing Pumpkins and Squeals. A lot of whistles happening over there. So it looks like the 4 or 5 points that they're going to grab from that, which will sort it right on out.
Waiting for that score to come through from QRDL, but yes, it looks like a lucrative jam.
And there goes the whistle.
So 21 for the Pumpkins and 22 for the Block Lobsters going into this jam. So very tight score here.
And we've got ourselves a Block Lobster lead jammer. Oh, big
Looks
hit
like,
there.
Ooh.
Is that Slasher? I think it might have been Slasher for Smashing Pumpkins. Oh, no, 94.
It's Speed. I think it's Speed Angel for the Smashing Pumpkins and Batty for the Block Lobsters. Do I need glasses?
Yeah, it's just the fade makes everything look blurry.
So 21 points for the Smashing Pumpkins and Red picking up 4 points for 26 for the Block Lobsters coming out of that last jam. Here we've got number 25, Leggy. Saw her legs off. It's her full given name, the Block Lobsters. And it looks like Cutthroat.
Make that jammer out to the edge of the track there, and doing so and recycling her right the way to the back. A very split up pack that has just reformed. Sorry, go for it, Pink.
No, that Pumpkins blocker just led her right into her formation up the inside, just sort of almost tunnel vision, just like a moth to a flame. You love to see it.
Until it hits the flame.
Little tussle at the front there, and Cutthroat appears to have secured lead jammer.
Lead jammer halfway through this jam.
On the ground.
Well, you're going to need to grab that if you want to put any points on the board. Oh, great work there by the Pumpkins jammer. A little twist and a jump.
Block Lobsters yet to complete an initial pass.
I think that's Cutthroat King has the star in hand. Pumpkins.
I'm hearing some whistles from turn 3. Looks like the Smashing Pumpkins are going to lose a blocker to the box. And I think that's the pivot with the star now for the Block Lobsters. And that's it for this jam.
Yeah. So all of these games are published live on YouTube a few days later. So if you're watching this on WFTDA's Twitch channel at the moment, and you want to go back and watch it a little later on, if you've got to go down to work or you've got to do something right now, you can watch it again in a few days on YouTube. And so hit the thumbs up button to let us know that you like the show. It really helps out the channel and allows us to keep bringing you the Derby coverage from the remote studio. So get onto that if you have to go anywhere or you want to watch it again later on, anything you missed.
So Pumpkins picking up 7 points in that last jam, and the Block Lobsters picking up 4. Squeals now your lead jammer for the Smashing Pumpkins. Got 0-4
Squeals is having
Batty.
a great game so far. She's
Absolutely.
really made some short work of this defense up until this point, and so she's really a strong jammer here for the Smashing Pumpkins and really converts a lot of those points on the board.
Coming out of that jam, we've got 4 more points on the board for the Pumpkins and 1 for the Block Lobsters, making your score 32 for the Smashing Pumpkins to 27 for the Block Lobsters.
Yeah, this is really great champagne roller derby, watching the lead change nearly every single jam or every couple of jams. It's really great to see 2 teams at it so evenly matched. It's nice to watch it when it's not a big runaway scoreboard that you can feel like you can never catch. So both these 2 teams obviously really want to get in there and they want to take it back every second jam, which is fantastic to see.
Butcher, your lead jammer for the Block Lobsters, and it's number 88, Speed Angel, who also jammed the last game, is also a fellow morning person, and is just up for anything this morning.
And is also holding on to the jammer cover.
Neat little apex jump, sort of half of an apex jump there from Butcher. And another pass to the pivot from the Smashing Pumpkins. I think that's Luna, possibly.
Slasher, maybe.
You may be right. So Black with 32 points, not picking up anything in that last jam. Red with 35, picking up 8 points.
This is like a seesaw point scoring going on right now, up and down on both sides, which is nice and fair. It's nice and even. Great way to start back in.
Interesting start here from both teams. A little chaotic.
King, it looks like Cutthroat King coming out lead jammer there for Smashing Pumpkins. And the star has been stashed, and that's for the Block Lobsters, trying to just poke it through there and see if we can get just through this great blocking defense. But Cutthroat King out on the outside there, just getting edged out there by that great pivot, 904. Or is that 004? Maybe Princess Jam Slam.
Mm.
It does look like 004, Princess Jam Slam. And that's the second time that she's knocked Cutthroat King out on the edge. He's going to want to rethink his going through there if he's going to have to face her every single time.
Yeah, if they've got your number this early in the game, it's time to shake it up.
Oh, yeah. You got to
If you'd like to shake it up, you can check out WFTDI Wellness. They're excited to team up with Project Phoenix to provide an invaluable wellness resource for the community. Together, we're creating a vibrant community for healing, connection, and support in roller derby. Learn more at community.wftda.org. And that is 36-35 right now in favor of the Smashing Pumpkins. So razor's edge. And timeout called by the Block Lobsters.
And also really showing how defensive this game is. It's not, we're not seeing your 15-point jams. I think the highest jam we've gotten so far, maybe like 7 points here. So we're only seeing 1.5 laps before we're getting it called off, and a lot of short, quick jams. I think that's a real tip of the hat to the defensive work that's going on there. Even through one pass, you just got to grab those points and go, geez, you made it through there. That's great. You know, you can't sit, you're looking at that blocking wall and going, I don't think I could go that again. I need a bit of a rest on the bench, and somebody else can have a go.
Certainly, a lot of games are won on these 5-point passes, and Yeah, I think our highest scoring pass was just 8 points. The jam before the last one. Sorry, highest scoring jam. It's really interesting to see the difference. Our first game was a little looser to start off with, as far as the jammers getting out pretty quickly, and this one's a little more defensive. 9 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in this first half as we come out of this timeout.
Look at that circle of blockers. They're all facing inside out, and then they spread out like a little flower, and no one's getting through. I know, we do have someone getting through. Block Lobsters. She's through. And number 44 for the Smashing Pumpkins, the jammer Squeals. She's had a great game, but she's now sitting on the sin bin as it's all coming up Block Lobsters. So hopefully she can probably try and make a liar out of us about the maximum amount of points that we've got in one jam just because we've said it. It always happens that way.
I'll show you.
Yeah, exactly. Is this for 8 points in one jam?
You ain't seen nothing yet. So star in hand of Squeals. It was standing in that penalty box. Gonna give it another go.
Oh, great fancy footwork on the outside of that jam of the track line there. And is that 9 points on the board? I don't know, but definitely going to want to try and put some more points on the board because there has been a star pass going on there for the Pumpkins.
I don't know if we've seen 9 points. Is that jammer lap point has gone the way of the dodo, unfortunately. I love a jammer lap point. Oh yeah, okay. Somebody correct me in the chat, but I'm pretty sure they retired the jammer lap point, which is a shame.
Well, see, this is what happens when you don't see roller derby for however long, a year and a half.
Absolutely.
They go and change the rules on you. They should be telling you there's no such thing as minor penalties.
They changed the rules right before we locked down, which is a really rude move. Okay, what is happening on the inside of turn 1 here? Number 80, 801, it looks like just bent in half.
Wow, really blocked up in there and holding it a standstill. Looks like Cutthroat King, but I could be wrong.
It is Cutthroat, you're right. It looked like he was tying his shoes there for a second, just bent completely at the waist. Ooh, Batty finally out and lead
Batty is the one coming out.
Cutthroat squeaking out of that pack, completing his initial pass at last. Call off now from Batty.
Calling it off. Not too sure if they probably got no points there for Cutthroat. And a quick 4 points there. 3 points. Only the 3 points there for Batty.
Still a very close game.
Squeals versus Princess. Oh, this is great. Now we've got a little inside information coming through to us and telling us who the jammers are. So Squeals versus Princess coming through, and Princess for the Block Lobsters in the red comes out as the lead jammer. Squeals, having come off a penalty last time she was on the track, she's now looking to get through and having a real trouble. But looks like she stashed the jammer cover. And
Lobster's jammer is sort of playing chicken with that recycle, just sort of stopping in her tracks. You wouldn't go that far back, would you? You wouldn't do that to me.
No.
Interesting offensive work here at the front from the Block Lobsters pivot. Or sorry, defensive work, I apologize. I was told not
And
to say
again,
sorry
we've
on the
got-
stream, but I'm Canadian, so you can't stop me. You can't make me.
That's right. You be silent every third word.
No. Not capable of it.
I don't think there's anything wrong with sorry. It's what the world loves Canadians for.
There we go.
Accountability.
You might love the We FTDA program. Be a part of the roller derby conversations at the We FTDA Collective. Signing up is easy, and you'll be able to connect with other folks, skaters, officials, announcers, and volunteers returning to roller derby from near and far. Find more information at community.wftda.com. We are now at 36 points for the Pumpkins to 48 for the Block Lobsters. So Block Lobsters getting a little bit of space in the score.
And we've got Leggy there for the Block Lobsters, and coming up against Speedy for Smashing Pumpkins. Speed Angel, that is, and Saw Legs Off, number 25. Oh no! On your way out, making sure escorted all the way there to the outside line. Almost
Speed Angel giving
very
that
conscious.
re-entry another shot.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think I'm quite at the back yet. I'll just go a little bit further. But it looks like we've got Saw Legs Off going around and lead jammer there for the Block Lobsters. This is probably looking like one of the largest leads we've had so far in the game. We're sitting at 36 to 48 points on the board, and Block Lobsters looking to capitalize on that and increase that out. Both pivots now sitting in the sin bin, so no one's in charge of those blocking walls. Hopefully we'll see some more points on the board as a result.
Silent Butcher seems to be signaling that the jammer should wait till he's out of the box to call it. But will she call it in time? And she does.
Nice move. Getting a bit more skater superiority for the start of the next jam. Always need your pivot. Helps.
So
40
now
points
52
to
for the Block Lobsters.
52. That's a 12-point differential now as Cutthroat and Luna line up here. That's Lunatrix 181 for the Block Lobsters and Cutthroat King 401 for the Smashing Pumpkins.
Really spread out pack here. There we go. Pull that up.
Like
401 Cutthroat. It's just, just like gentle nudges, like, hey guys.
Yeah.
Be a doll. Whoa, what was that? What an interesting collision there.
Going on.
Yeah.
We do have the lead jammer, and that is Luna. Lunatrix 181. And
a star pass.
Got a star pass.
It's like Cutthroat handed it off to 108. Who is 108?
Maybe it is.
Perhaps it's Wolfman 188?
It is. It's Wolfman 188.
If you're getting back to Derby, make sure your WFTDA insurance coverage is up to date. Log into the member portal to check your coverage stats or go to WFTDI.com for more information. Discounted insurance rates are still available to U.S.-based leagues and skaters. Canadian leagues and skaters go to WFTDI Canada for member benefits and information.
Yeah, you might want to risk getting insurance on your shitty beat-up old car, but you definitely don't want to miss out on insurance on your shitty beat-up old legs because you don't get to replace them with a couple of $1,000. What have we got going on here? We've got Baddie versus Squeals. And Squeals having a monster of a game out there. Hopefully she can turn this into some points for the Smashing Pumpkins.
Well, it looks like she went to the penalty box, actually, and the Lobsters have a power jam. So.
Right up with the times there I am. And looks like Block Lobsters, lead jammer, going to be around the outside and lengthening that lead. Making a fool out of me.
So because the Block Lobsters got a no pass, no penalty, there is no lead jammer in this jam. We're going to go to the full 2 minutes.
Well, we have definitely not seen a full 2-minute jam yet this half. So hopefully we'll see a large score point here and some whizzing around of the jammers and a big shake-up of the point system. But I don't think so.
2-minute jams, they can be tragic. It's really, they're always a toss-up.
That's why I like them. They really roll the dice. They're like, what's going to happen here? No one can call this off. All the control is gone. We've just got to do our best and hang on for the 2 minutes.
Absolutely. It's both a mental and a physical endurance task. Like Wolfman.
Yeah, and you've really got to change your gameplay.
Yeah, Wolfman's taken the star as the pivot and looks exhausted already.
He's like, why did you pass it to me?
Oh. And there's that.
That's the whistle.
4 whistles. You can broadcast your games without the expense and hassle of traditional streaming. The Remote Studio can get your games to a global audience with as little as a smartphone. No matter your location or budget, get streaming with the Remote Studio. Contact broadcast@quadmedia.tv and check out our Broadcasting for Beginners resources at wftda.tv. And with that, it's halftime.
Halftime! And we're probably looking at the largest leads we've had in the game so far. It's because 44 is what the Smashing Pumpkins are sitting on, and 68 are the Block Lobsters, a 22-point differential, probably the largest so far in the game. So you only just tuned in, you've come at a very exciting time because Smashing Pumpkins, we want to bring that back.
We actually just got a correction to 47 for the Pumpkins and 69 for the Block Lobsters, but still a very, very close game and a fast game. For those of you who were here in the first game, lots of time stoppages, ran a little bit over time, and this has been a really tight half, very quick.
Yeah, and you've got to bring back that time somehow, otherwise it just keeps adding on, and the last game will be tomorrow. And then it's just a never-ending cycle trying to play catch-up.
It's going to be like a doctor's office if you're already behind at this stage of the game.
Well, I had an appointment at 3:30.
I'm on my lunch break.
That's right.
All right.
So how long have we got here for this halftime? Not too sure.
We've got 5 minutes and 30 seconds. So we will see you back here at approximately 11:52. Can I do math-ish? Yeah.
Yeah, it depends where you are. It's one of those games where it really depends where you are. If you're in Melbourne or Sydney, it's 12:52. Daylight savings has screwed the whole thing up, but 5 minutes is how long you've got. Enough time to go to the toilet and grab a drink. Don't want to miss any more. See you in 5 minutes.
So welcome back to round 5 of the QRDL mini season. I'm Pink's Lemonade.
And I'm Chief Intent, coming to you from Melbourne.
So a tight first half we just saw. We're just hearing now about the penalties, which we can't see here in the Remote Studio, but only no skaters on red over 1 penalty so far. And as far as black, the only skater with more than 1 penalty is Squeals with 2. So very tight, very disciplined game.
Everyone's playing real nice because they've just come back and they're on their best behaviour. Wait a couple of weeks, they'll be punching people in the face like they normally do.
So our score coming out of that half is 47 for the Smashing Pumpkins in black, 69 for the Block Lobsters in red, both out of Brisbane City Rollers.
Yep, Brisbane's BCR there, shooting both these two teams. And we've got another couple of games coming up after this as well. So we've got a real action-packed Saturday for you guys. If you're just sitting at home with nothing to do, today's a great day. It's not even good weather down here in Melbourne, so we should have heaps of Melbourne people sitting around here. Can't go out of their house. Shitty weather. So why not spend the day watching roller derby with some popcorn or something? That's the way to go.
Yeah, Skatespear on the Twitch chat says he's from Melbourne as well, so he knows what's up.
Oh, yeah.
He knows where the good ticket is. Right here.
And if you're enjoying today's roller derby, tune in next week for Denver Roller Derby and Rocky Mountain Roller Girls. And they're going to be live right here on Twitch, Saturday, October 23rd, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. which I'm not too sure what mountain time is, but it's obviously up in the mountains a whole different time. Make sure you follow this channel and be notified when we go live. Double header featuring Denver, Rocky, and Denver's Men League. It's going to be fantastic. Twitch TV /WFTDA. Denver, of course, the home, very briefly, to our lovely Sam Pepperell and also Skate Eagle. It got really interesting over there, Denver, for a while, and just before lockdown. But I'm sure it'll be fantastic games. We're on here to the second half, and Block Lobsters and Smashing Pumpkins launching straight into this wall of blockers, ready to put some points on the board.
So Speed Angel jamming for the Pumpkins and Sore Legs Off for the Block Lobsters. No lead yet. A lot of recycling here in the first straightaway. Looks like Speed Angel is going to get lead jammer for the Pumpkins.
This is exactly what they're going to need if they're going to claw back those 22 points that they're in deficit at this stage. And just getting a little bit nudged out and recycled, calling it off before Sore Legs Off could actually get any points on the board. Let's see if she got any hips. Still hips past the points, hopefully. You never know when they change rules every year or so. My strategy for the rules is just don't know any of them. And then therefore you can change them whatever you like, because I don't know what's going on ever. Yeah, exactly right. Everything's new to me all the time.
Yeah, I just got a hat trick. What's a hat trick? Well, I don't know, but I just got one.
But I got one.
Yeah. Tell it to the judge.
And we got Squeals and Luna. So Squeals number 44 having a killer game today, and Luna Tricks 181 for the Block Lobsters coming up, and 20 points the differential. So that's 2 points she got last time. Squeals is the lead jammer. So coming up, first two jams into this game with the Smashing Pumpkins. So they've had obviously eaten their oranges at halftime, coming out shooting bullets at the Block Lobsters.
Squeals almost getting motion sickness from the amount of spins she did. Looked like she was going to get by on the inside, but got caught on the apex.
And yet again, proving these defensive teams are really pulling them out there, holding up Squeals. Squeals almost looks like she's lifted off the ground there, wedged by blockers. But she got some points on the board. If you do it 2 points jam, it doesn't matter as long as you're going in the right direction. And that is certainly the strategy that's happening here, because we've minimized in just the first two jams down to a 16-point lead. So 6 points over those last two jams. Certainly something that the Pumpkins are going to want to keep up. Oh, look at this.
Cutthroat on the line up against Batty.
That was almost an old school setup, having everyone up there at the front line.
Yeah, who remembers double whistle starts? What a time.
I'm all over double whistle starts. Yeah. Well, I started commentating in 2011, so what's that, 10 years ago? I remember a whole bunch of things. And I've forgotten more about roller derby than I ever knew. Meanwhile, we are looking up.
That's all, folks.
But we did get some points on the board for the Block Lobsters. Looks like a couple of points there.
$72-53 in favor of the Block Lobsters going into this jam.
Yeah, so that was a 3-point jam there by the Block Lobsters, and Batty was putting the points on the board then. Now we've got Leggy and Speedy. Speed Angel number 88 and Sore Legs Off number 25 for the Block Lobsters.
Something has happened with the Pumpkins here on the outside with the red team in between them and the Lobster Jammers.
I totally missed that. I was focusing on the jammer. My bad. Always focusing on the wrong person, looking where the action isn't.
Well, it's easy to lose the jammer here with a star in her hand, but might not need to pass that off after all.
Sore Legs Off is just casually doing her own thing while everybody else on that track is engaged in this tug of war, not wanting to give any margins up. Sora Legs Off has now joined that grouping, and it looks like that star pass was successful.
That's correct. It looks like perhaps Kimbo took that pass. Slasher, okay.
Oh. But Leggy is the lead jammer. Sora Legs Off is the lead jammer, and she's called that off.
Just a heads up, all of our live games are published on YouTube a few days after filming. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up button to let us know you like the show. It really helps out the channel and allows us to keep bringing you Derby coverage from the remote studio.
This whole remote studio thing even opens up that commentators. You're getting a lot more different international flavor with commentators these days as well, because you could be from anywhere. You know, you could get someone from Australia and someone from Canada commentating a game in Germany, and it really brings that sort of international feel across, which is fantastic, and it really adds to that global roller derby community, which we all love so very much.
Absolutely. Normally, I'd only see people from across the globe at a World Cup, which it's been an age since we've seen one of those.
Yeah, I've got my World Cup jumper on at the moment from 2018. That was a hoot.
Ooh.
Actually got to commentate Team Canada back then, actually. They were having a great old game.
Oh, we should get Spencer Sleep on the stream from Team Canada. He's over here in the corner watching his own thing on his own laptop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Squeals versus
Easter egg.
Luna. That's right. That's right. Actually, the green shirt I'm wearing is the Team Australia's shirt from that year as well. I just accidentally put on all my 2018 Roller Derby World Cup stuff.
Oh, very nice.
There we go.
Beautiful Barcelona.
Yeah. That was in Manchester.
Oh, you're talking about Manchester, the women's
2018 Roller Derby's Women's World Cup, yeah.
Okay.
When Canada came third, US came first, very contentious first versus Australia's second, but it was great. It was really good. There was like 38 teams. It was amazing. That's where I met Valkyrie from Germany. Yeah. I like it. Actually, Roller Derby World Cup is fantastic. It's a really, really great sort of connecting experience. There were teams there that sort of got sponsored to come over because they only had small leagues, and I would definitely go to another one of them. That was really, really, really fun.
Yeah, that's sort of the best of roller derby, is those huge international tournaments, especially when you see these scrappy, smaller teams. Yeah. If you're thinking of joining roller derby, the WFTDA has a new beginning skating program called This is Roller Derby. And if you have questions about where and how to start, make sure you join the skating education training community at WeFTDA. We'll be discussing your questions, adding resources, and linking to more information about the skating curriculum. Skating education and training at community.wftda.org.
Nice. This is roller derby. Who doesn't want to join roller derby? All those broken legs and whatnot.
Sure, tell your friends.
A lot more community. That's right. That's right.
So just over 23 minutes left on the clock in the second half.
We've got, is it Cutthroat? No, Batty. That's Batty, who was lead jammer and called that one off. We have 61 points to the Smashing Pumpkins and 76 points to the Block Lobsters. 15 points in at 20 minutes on the track, on the clock. And with the way these two teams have been going back and forth, it's really impossible to pick a winner at this stage, because both these two teams are giving it absolutely everything and incredibly capable of taking out this match.
Absolutely. A lot of give and take here, a lot of highs and a lot of lows. Speaking of which, power jam for the Smashing Pumpkins as Sore Legs goes right to the box.
And stretching it out, but there we go. We've got the lead jam going through to Squeals. as she is now looking to try and put some points on the board. And those defensive blockers there from the Pumpkins are going to try and probably break through a bit of a hole there for her. Hopefully, with the assistance of the defensive team playing an offensive role, we can get through and chuck some points on the board unanswered, because here comes the Block Lobsters and Leggy.
Really slow pack
We
here
are
right
at a
now.
standstill.
I love this chest blocking from the Block Lobsters. Just really artfully done. Arms out of the way, slow but not too slow, and squeals, trying to squeak by. Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
No.
Oh, you don't ever want to be taken out by the last blocker. Stay in that middle.
No.
Can you hear me? Can anyone hear me?
And there we go. And she's called that off.
That was Bloody Laces there, who just finished the Pumpkins blocker off. It's a heartbreaker.
And look, hats off to those Block Lobsters and also the Pumpkins defense today. They are really the absolute champions of today's match, just holding up those jammers pretty much every single jam. And they're the ones definitely taking charge of this game. Speedy versus Luna on the jam line.
Big tumble here in the back.
Lead jam number 88 for the Smashing Pumpkins. Coming in with a bit of speed and calling it, just having a quick look around just to make sure everything was kosher. But that
interesting contact in the back there with that spin.
Yeah, I think that's what she was looking at, just to make sure she didn't draw any penalties. We have now a 10-point game in at Black. Official review going there from Block Lobsters.
Yeah, it looks like they might have had issue with that last little incident there. If you follow us on Twitch, you will be notified every time we go live. And if you have Amazon Prime, you won't see any ads by using your free Prime subscription. Ask in the chat if you need help linking your account.
Well, always love it when you're live down on the track doing commentating to the room and picking on the people who are holding their arms up and having to show their sweaty armpits. It's just like, sucked in. Look at those guys showing off their muscles. Oh, yeah.
We saw a jam timer in the first game. Now, I don't know if she's maybe dealing with an injury or a sort of a chronic issue, or if she's just way smarter than any other jam timer, but she grabbed a chair. She just knew it was going to be a long official timeout. She grabbed the chair, just sort of like, yeah.
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 Or a pair of pants.
That's working smart, not hard.
Them. That's exactly right.
It's sort of, in some countries, cashiers sit down, and in some countries they don't. And it's just one of those things, you don't think of how genius it is until you see it.
Yeah. Whoa.
And it does look like it was that last bit of contact, seeking a forearms penalty for sort of a hip whip type motion from the jammer. So we'll see if the refs have anything to say about that.
But it looks like they're going back into it. We've got 19 minutes and 51 seconds left on the clock, and Cutthroat up against Baddie. That's Cutthroat King for the Smashing Pumpkins and Baddie number 04 for the Block Lobsters. So hopefully there's 10 points in it. The call standard stands on that official review. So everything's just going to go ahead as it was previously going ahead. And all Block Lobsters looking to, no, it's getting, looks like a back block, and she's going to make her way into the sin bin, which leaves the door open for Smashing Pumpkins and Cutthroat King to maybe put some points on the board and minimize that 10-point lead that's currently existing to the Block Lobsters.
Ooh, really adding insult to injury here, coming off an official review that you were not successful. getting a jammer penalty, starting on a power kill scenario. That lead could vanish very quickly.
Yep. Absolutely.
Speaking
And
of
it's just
quickly, next
just
week,
to go to
Denver
show.
Roller Derby and Rocky Mountain Roller Girls will be live right here on Twitch, Saturday, October 23rd at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. Make sure you follow this channel to be notified when we go live. Visit twitch.tv/WFTDA.
Squeals is on a power jam now, 6 points the difference. And Squeals, probably one of the most effective jammers they've had here for the Pumpkins in this game. She's really done a lot of damage and put a lot of points on the board. But everybody is involved, and all eyes and arms are all over Squeals right now. So she's got to get through a small army. But here comes the jammer, or I think this is, I don't know who this is. So this is Batty.
This is
Batty's
Batty
off,
for the
obviously,
Block Lobsters.
straight off the bench again. Should have known that one.
Now if Batty steals this lead, that's going to be tragic. Not a good feeling for the Pumpkins.
No, coming out again, we've had the wind change in favour of the Pumpkins, and then it looks like the wind changing against the Pumpkins again. That's roller derby for you, folks. It could change any single moment, and that's why they've got someone called a pivot, so you can pivot and change your tactics.
And it is now slow, but finally a lead for the Block Lobsters, who started in the box on the power kill.
And the redemption is there for Batty. She got sent off last jam, but came back this jam and has now become the lead jammer. So she's got to be pretty stoked with herself.
Absolutely. That's a good sort of spiritual cleanse. You do something you're not proud of, you just have to start on a power kill and you go, it's fine. No harm, no foul.
Yeah.
Well, kind of a foul,
right.
but no harm.
Got some instant karma. I think the Buddhists would have something to say about that, when you can redeem yourself almost instantly. You have a very cleansed karmic palette.
Mm-hmm. And how the turntables, because Squeals is now starting in the penalty box, so it's a power kill start for the Block Lobsters this time.
That's right. And Silent Butcher, is on that jam line looking to capitalize. Butcher has not had massive amounts of jam, so probably coming into this a little more fresh than some of the other jammers. And on the outside edge, there we go, lead jammer going to Silent Butcher.
Yeah, had a jam or two early on, but really didn't return to it. And really nice work on the outside of that straightaway. They're not going to let him get away with that twice in a row.
No. Once was enough, Butch.
Yeah. Fool me once. Nice blocking here in the back, and Butcher's going to sneak by on the inside line, complete his first scoring pass, just as Pumpkins complete their initial.
Okay, looks like we've got some extra points on the board. So 4 points on the board there, going to the Block Lobsters. That's going to stretch that out to maybe a 12-point lead to the Block Lobsters, which they're pretty stoked about, I'm sure, at this juncture of the game, because we've got to be getting there on time. What's the time frame we're looking at? Probably, I reckon, about 13 minutes, maybe. That's just a guess, mind you. Or timeout to black. So Smashing Pumpkins are on a timeout. 15 minutes and 15 seconds left in here. So that's good to know. And perfect opportunity to talk about Frogmouth. So if you've seen the teams out there that look absolutely smashing in their outfits, it's probably because they're wearing Frogmouth outfits. And Frogmouth has partnered with WFTDA to support the COVID-19 Recovery Fund. And 10% of all sales of products go from their special The Pack is Back WFTDA Return to Play collection will be donated to the Recovery Fund to help WFTDA community members recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. Visit their online store at frog-mouth-clothing-.com. A lot of dashes in there. Right, you get me. It's frogmouthclothing.com.
There we go.
I love Frogmouth.
You got sort of recycled back into that announcer read. You got another chance to give that a go. Yeah. That's right. Fine. That's what timeouts are for.
Exactly.
So if you're the Smashing Pumpkins, what are you saying on your bench going back into these last 15 minutes, this last quarter of the game? I mean, it's hard to find a lot of fault here. Both teams are doing a fantastic job.
It's got to be some kind of Ted Lasso style speech about it doesn't matter if you lose. It's all about winning and enjoying the game. Good times.
Yes, something rousing.
Yeah.
Speaking of rousing, Luna for the Block Lobster has ruffled her way out of this pack to get lead jammers.
Very quickly going around, not as quick coming through to add the points on the board, but really nice breakaway at the start there from Luna. And she doesn't have to be super quick on this one, except now we do have Cutthroat King making his way around the back end to try and make this a 2-jammer game. Luna's not going to have a bar of that.
Even on the stream, we could hear the whole bench sort of yell as one voice for Luna to call it off. Always helpful.
Yeah.
That's going to be 84 points for the Pumpkins to 70. Sorry, 70 for the Pumpkins to 84 for the Block Lobsters.
Yeah, so it looks like I got 2 points on the board there, which was great. And Speedy and Leggy, this old matchup coming back in again. So Sora legs off, number 25 up against 88 Speed Angel. These guys have been in a match off quite a few times in this game. Be interesting to see the stats on how they've both fared, but I think it's been fairly even, which is nice.
Yeah, quite a tight pack here. It's always interesting to see how the teams take up the inside versus the outside. It's not always a strategic decision. Sometimes you just sort of end up. This pack is just pulled till its breaking point.
Just pushing so much energy into this pack, and that pack just bending and then pushing back. It's been a star pass. Not too sure who that's been passed to. I think it might have been Silent Butcher, to tell you the truth. So Leggy passing out to Silent Butcher, but not in time enough to make any difference to that, as the Pumpkins put some points on the board and call it off.
So the Block Lobsters started that game down one blocker. So that's never a good feeling either, when you forget to field an entire contingent of skaters. But looks like there's still 10 points in the lead with probably about, I would say, 10 minutes left or so.
Princess versus Squeals. Squeals number 44 up against 04, Princess Jam. And these two have also been, they must be in a similar jammer rotation, because they've come up against each other quite a few times as well and quite evenly matched these two.
Wolfman doing a big recycle on Luna here. Two sort of side-by-side blockers in the back coming up to meet their tripod head, and a nice offensive sweep here. I think that's number 2 from the Block Lobsters. Or is it 2? Laces. Laces has been a really huge asset on the Lobsters this game.
So Princess now trying to get through the back of that pack there. A lot of skaters in the way before she can get through and try and put some points on the board. She's still right in the mix and has now managed to punch her way through, which is fantastic.
Wolfman has adopted the star from the Pumpkins. And Luna shows no sign of stopping.
No, Luna's just taking that front position.
There's a sign.
The ground was a key defining moment in her stopping.
Yes, that's one sign. On October 22nd, the WFTDA will host a member-exclusive grief counseling session. We'll take some extra time to focus on the topic of grief with Leslie Barber from Grief Warrior. Find more information and register at community.wftda.org in the upcoming events section.
And we got Cutthroat King up against Baddie, Bad Reality. And Cutthroat King is lead jammer on this one. Baddie trying to find that outside edge and not very far, only half a track behind Cutthroat King. He's going to want to hit it and quit it, or so they say. He got through nice and quick.
Clean incision from Cutthroat King. Oh my goodness.
It is
making it look easy.
not many times in this game have you seen such separated blocking structures, but there was just room on the track and he took it.
I don't know if perhaps that sort of short start, those sort of things really rattle a team. And if the Block Lobsters are sort of distracted by that kind of chaotic moment, that could kind of explain why they were sort of caught off guard. And they've called a timeout now. They're only ahead by 6 points, 81 for the Punishers, Pumpkins, 87 for the Block Lobsters. 10 minutes left in the game. Well, they could be pretty punishing, I think.
Oh yeah, especially this point in the game. Got 10 minutes left, 6 points between it. They're definitely giving some kind of crazy speeches right now.
Yeah, it's been.
Oh no.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that they were doing this thing here in a while. I don't know if they did it in Canadian American sports, but in our football, they were taking, and I don't know if it's legal anymore, but they were taking a pint of blood out of people and at halftime putting their own blood back into it because then they would have all this extra blood that gives them all this extra energy. I am not making it because it's not.
You are making
because it's not like. I'm definitely not making that up because it's not a drug or anything. It's your own blood, right? So they take it out and then keep it on the side. And then at halftime, they give you all this extra blood of your own. And then you just go out and sort of go crackers. But I think they might have banned it. And I'm not too sure. If anyone out there on the feed land is like, hey, this guy for a fit, just let me know what you think on the feed. But I'm pretty sure that was a real thing.
Okay, so this jam is back on, but we are continuing this conversation later. That's insane. Okay, lead jammer has gone to Wolfman from the Smashing Pumpkins Punishers, and Wolfman hasn't started as a jammer yet this game, I don't believe. So this is an interesting change-up.
Yeah, he's just got his own blood. That's what's happened. He's got a Wolfman that they prepared earlier.
Guys are twisted.
We've done a star pass here happen on the Block Lobsters. And not the lead jammer, but why not have a crack? That's 4 points.
So on this blood issue, are they doing the blood in private or are they just openly doing it like it's okay, it's my blood?
They were doing it on the field. So like halftime comes, normally old school, they would give out your oranges, right? But this time they were just hooking up an IV with your own blood in it and then going, right, get back out there.
Sorry, if I sniffle on the track, they stop and mop the floor. You're talking that people just walk out onto a soccer pitch, football pitch, and they're just got an IV of blood. That's insane.
This is Australian rules football, so it's not. It's a big oval, but yeah, I don't know.
Luna headed to the box. It's a power kill for the Smashing Pumpkins, and I think that's Speed Angel jamming for them unopposed.
This is not going to what they want at this point. There's only 2 points in this game, and Black are only 2 points behind. So the Pumpkins are looking right now, and Speedy is sitting there going, pressure's on, because I could change the lead of this game right here, right now in this jam.
Is she going to have a chance now? Lead is off the table for the Block Lobsters, so not exactly a rush for Speed Angel, but it would certainly be embarrassing if, for example, Luna started scoring before she was able to get lead. And the way the pack is moving, it's certainly a possibility. Absolute standstill in the second string.
They've had quite a lot of situations like this where it does look like one team's got a bit of an edge, and that edge is just turned against them. And so
huge
any advantage
here
turned into a disadvantage at the moment in this game. 8 minutes left on the clock. Still looking at Luna and Speedy at this pack that hasn't gone past the third turn.
Nice chest blocking here at the front from the pivot from the Punishers. No, I don't think she might have been just blocking the pivot, it looks like. Oh, we have a star pass, so no lead jammer for this jam. 2 star passes.
We're getting words that scare about. Look at this pack. It's gone from going nowhere to going 100 miles an hour.
What year is it? I guess they were looking at the clock, just trying to keep their hips ahead of the jammer at any cost.
Yeah. I've been asking myself what year it is for like 5 years and no one has told me.
I constantly refer to last year and I'm thinking 2019. And I'm like, you know what I mean? The last year that it was a year, you know.
That's right. The last time
So
that
look at
time
this
was
score.
counted.
86 for the Pumpkins. I'm going to say Punisher 6 more times. 86 for the Smashing Pumpkins, 87 for the Block Lobsters, 6.5 minutes to go. And lead has gone to the Smashing Pumpkins.
To the Pumpkins. That's right. It is neck and neck out there. And Cutthroat King is the one who's going to be hoping can change the numbers in favour of the Smashing Pumpkins with only 6:30 to go. Star pass to Princess. So Princess for the Block Lobsters now has the jammer cover on her head, whereas Cutthroat King has just taken the lead for the Smashing Pumpkins.
Did the Lobsters complete an initial pass?
I don't know.
I didn't think they did.
Think so. I don't know, but the scores now stand at the Smashing Pumpkins at number 90 and Red Block Lobsters at 87.
So the Pumpkins in black have finally pulled ahead after just inches and inches of progress this second half.
They've just been incredibly resilient and just taking the points where they can and just edging it every single time to try and get through there. It looks like Silent Butcher for the Block Lobsters. So really quite a fresh jammer has come out and now taken the lead jam, but not very far behind. We've got Cutthroat King, who is chasing Silent Butcher.
The Pumpkins really took their eyes off Butcher when he was recycling to the outside. It felt like they really missed an opportunity to catch him on the outside line. And yeah, very silent.
I don't hear him coming. He's quiet. He's like a ninja. 90 points to 89. It is right there, neck and neck. Not sure if that's red at 89 or black at 90. Oh, no, obviously black's 90, but we've got 1 point in the game, 4 minutes and 35 seconds. This is tense.
Squeals up against Batty on the jammer line. And I can imagine the pressure here. Imagine not playing Derby for so long and then playing a nail biter of a game like this one.
Oh, it'd be what you were hoping for on all those nights when you could dream that you were playing roller derby. It'd be like, I come back with a nail biter. But it's good for the viewer. I don't know how good it is for the skater, I must tell you.
Big recycle here of the Block Lobsters jammer. Ooh. Bit of a toss-up on the outside of turn one, and it's lead for the Block Lobsters.
This could be what the Lobsters have been waiting for all this one jam ago. And it looks like Batty and calling it off. We've got another lead change, I think, going on here.
The Block Lobsters not taking any passes. 90
to 90.
1 point picked up in that last jam, and yikes, 3 minutes to go.
This is tense.
It is tense. This is better than a pint of my own blood.
You don't know. Don't knock it till you tried it.
I have to assume. Oh, yeah. And a little bit new jammer flavor. Laces jamming for the Block Lobsters.
Boom! This is exactly what the Lobsters want at this juncture. Coming through, lead jammer, and the jammer for the Pumpkins is not where they want to be. They're still at the back of the pack, unable to make their first pass.
Big risk taken by Laces on the outside of turn one, and it did not pay off. She was coming with a ton of speed, which she's now sort of been absorbed by the Pumpkins. Cutthroat's completed his initial pass. And will Laces call it off before...
Oh, boom. That was only looked like Pumpkin skaters there. Every time I hear Smashing Pumpkins, I think of Bowfinger, that movie Bowfinger, where Heather Graham's like, I love Smashing Pumpkins. No, Steve Martin's like, I love Smashing Pumpkins. And then Heather Graham's like, yeah, I love doing that too. showing the age gap.
They're definitely,
Classic movie.
definitely smashing their way through this game. But the Black Lobsters have crept back up 3 points ahead with
Oh, look at
93
the
to
love
90,
out
and
there.
official timeout's been called.
A lot of hugs and love out there. And I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to play unless you're double vaxxed here. So that's the hugs of a lot of double vax skaters, I'm pretty sure.
That's a great feeling. Risk-free hugs, or low-risk hugs, I guess.
That's right. Safe hugs.
Yeah. Practice safe hugs.
Yeah.
If you would like to practice safe hugs, you can check out the Return to Play update. The WFTDA has published new COVID-19 safety guidelines for leagues returning to play. Check them out at community.wftda.org. The guidelines are being updated frequently in response to changing conditions and regional guidelines. And speaking of changing conditions, we're fixing the track here with this less than 2 minutes to go.
Game on. It is neck
so this
and
could be
neck out there. We've got what, 90 to the Pumpkins and 93 to the Lobsters. Lobsters are not wanting to lose this. It is a Pumpkins coming out with the lead jam, and the Lobsters still unable to make their way through in the middle of that. And we've got Wolfman versus Princess. Wolfman is the one looking to line up those points and probably going to call it off before the penalty clock comes in. Calls it.
Lovely.
In time. Oh, no, they didn't call it. Wolfman.
Interesting.
Looked like he was calling it, but it didn't get called. But who are we? We're sitting half a country away. These guys are right there, and they know what's called or not called. There we go. There's the call. So what are the points? Where's the points? Where's the time?
Very interesting.
Oh.
So was our score coming out of that jam?
I think the Pumpkins would have come out there with some more points. Black 96.
Yeah, the 96
red
to
93.
the Lobsters 93. Oh!
40. Is that 40 seconds left on the board? 40 seconds left on the board. There's one jam left in it.
Dear.
3 points on the board. Smashing Pumpkins up by 3 points over the Block Lobsters, who have led pretty much most of the game. And who's got coming in here? 4:01 here for the Pumpkins. That is Cutthroat King, who's had a monster game. And looks like he might be edging his way around. This is great news for the Pumpkins to come into this last jam with the lead jammer. They're the ones who are 3 points up. And Simon Butcher, however, being edged out. Have they called it? They might have called it.
Why?
Trying to get another jam in? No, surely not. Maybe that's it.
But, with Butcher still in the pack. Oh. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. 96 to 93 for the Pumpkins.
What a monster game in the end, coming out 3 points up after Block Lobsters have gone all the way through that game with 3 points sort of edging upwards of 12, 20 points in front at one stage, and the Pumpkins just bringing it back there right at the end. Massive game, great derby, fantastic one to come back to.
Absolutely. The Lobsters just sort of dangling that, just above reach. And the Pumpkins just persisted, and some really, a lot of luck, but like a lot of talent and a lot of focus out there.
And determination. Sometimes they were just getting those extra 2 points, and neither one of those teams gave up at any stage. They were coming back in, and they were having their timeouts, using their timeouts effectively, and then coming back in and then putting more points on the board. It was a fantastic game and a great second game here of the Queensland Roller Derby League's mini tournament. And great game to come back in to watch.
Absolutely a delight. And so coming up at 12:45 local time, we're going to have the Blackhearts versus the ECDD East Coast. I've been Pink's Lemonade.
Pink, I've been Chief Intent, and it's been an absolute pleasure commentating with you from halfway around the world. I'll be back in Game 4 later on tonight, but you got to go get some sleep. It's like 2 a.m. there now, surely. I've lost all concept of time.
I've got practice in the morning. I got to work hard and become as good as some of these gorgeous teams we've been watching. So that's night-night from me.
Well, it's been great commentating with you, Pink, and you have a lovely night.
Thanks.